The legal challenges against President Trump, we've talked about lawfare before. The lawfare he is facing, whether it is in state courts and state actors or federal courts and federal actors, and these international leaders, elected officials are looking at how this could impact the election. And we now see, Dad, one move against Fani Willis and the judge is that you've got a group of defendants, including President Trump, asking for an appeal on this move with Judge McAfee, who said on the one hand, I remember we were talking about this once in France, that you can dismiss, the special counsel has to be dismissed to get rid of the conflict of interest, but that Fani Willis herself does not have to be dismissed.
Yeah, he split the decision, which was a mistake, because the reality is the office is totally tainted. Right. The judge found in the order that there is an appearance of impropriety, but he thought that impropriety could be eliminated by simply removing the one special counsel. But actually, to remove the appearance of impropriety, it is the district attorney who is ultimately responsible. To lay this at the feet of the deputy or the assistant isn't right. And the court also, remember, made that famous statement about there's an odor of mendacity that lingers in this case. That's untruthfulness on a criminal case against the former president of the United States. So what has happened is a number of the defendants, Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, Bob Cheeley, who's a friend of mine, Mark Roman, David Schaefer, with the former head of the GOP in Georgia, and very well respected.
Yep.
Harrison Floyd, and then Kathleen Latham, some of those are electors, have filed a defendant's joint motion for a certificate of immediate review. To get an appeal, you have to seek request from the district court, and then it will be decided by the actual Court of Appeals. Discretionary. They don't have to take it.
Right. They don't have to take it, but it does give you this move. Again, this is the outrage I know was there, and the confusion would be there. And now we were following it like close last week because he was issuing orders about how the DA could move forward before he had even issued orders on the DA. And I think we were right that he was not going to remove Fani Willis because he was already telling her how to make good on some charges he had to dismiss. So it sounded like he was doing something for Fani Willis. But by taking away her special counsel, by removing him, and he was the one who was supposed to be in charge of this whole RICO analysis, how far back did it set the case?
Well, it sets the case back far. The problem is, as you said, is the day before this decision came out, he made the decision that dismissing 6 counts, but saying how she could amend the grand jury, go back into a grand jury and amend the indictment, which indicated that he wasn't throwing her out of the case, because if he threw her out of the case, it would go to a new prosecutor. So, look, I think the court's going to grant review. I would like to file a brief in this case on the appearance of impropriety. I think if there's an appearance of impropriety, if that's a standard, and I think publicly, the fact that there is this known appearance of impropriety is the public is saying this isn't right.
Yeah, I think that there has been so much, like I said, the odor that is within this whole case right now. It again, like what has become with all these cases against President Trump, it feels politicized, it doesn't feel real, and it doesn't feel like the outcomes are going to move the needle either way, except for, obviously, an outcome that could involve any sort of sentencing. But in terms of the audience, or in terms to the American people, all it does is really showcase that this is another political moment.